All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. Okay, so I was talking about um kind of why I bought this kit as my first kit. For most people, if you were just starting, you never played a musical note in your life, I would not recommend spending this much money on something you don't know if you're going to stick with. But for me, I'm a multi instrumentalist, so I got violins here, got my cool flying V, got mandolins here, I've got a couple of guitars, right? Um, got a bass, right? So the only thing I'm missing is really a piano, and then after that, who knows what? I'll get a banjo, maybe a saxophone, and clarinet, and some flutes, and maybe a bagpipe. But that's like way later on. I got to pay this down first. But you could tell, like I'm a multi instrumentalist. Guitar being my main thing, where I, basically started playing guitar when I was 5, and I'm now 50, right? And then I covered in the previous, my drum experience up to now in the previous videos. But the reason, the way I look at it is, again, when it comes to musical gear, don't spend $100 to save 10. You know what I mean? So if I would have bought the cheap kit and the cheapest hardware and the cheapest this, cheapest that, yes, I would have everything for cheaper. But I'd want to upgrade. So I just cut the chase and said, spend the money once. It doesn't mean this kit isn't going to get a lot of add-ons. Trust me, the add-ons are going to be pretty cool to this kit. It will eventually get a cage and stuff like that. I'll probably, build up the cymbals. Like, for example, I got 2 fairly decent cymbals um, to start with, but I didn't buy a full cymbal pack. I only bought a ride and a set of hi-hats. So if I do have to upgrade some stuff, at least it's not, okay, here I gotta get rid of all these cymbals and bring in a whole bunch of new cymbals, right? So I just got stuff to get me going. So this is a full kit. I got the throne, I got everything. If I can't afford another piece for this kit for, say, the next 5 years, that's fine. Whatever. And I found a complimentary triangle. It was sitting out in the room, in the hallway there. I didn't even know it was there. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to add that to the kit, little triangle. But the thing is that I figured just spend the money now, because by the end of the year, when it's paid off, I'm not going to care what I spent on it. So it is a bit of an expensive kit. The shells were 1,300. I'll have to grab the when I get it set up, I'll go through the prices of everything. But I think it was close. It was a little like 275 or 375 for that snare. So it's a decent snare. The guy recommended it as I told him I'm going to be playing mostly metal rock kind of stuff. So I just steered away from the cheaper snares. I'm sure I'm going to have about 4 or 5 snares. I'll have a little piccolo snare. I want one of those really, really deep snares, just for, kind of acts as a second tom or a third tom. I went for a really good throne, so not the most expensive, but not the cheapest. I'm 50 years old, so I can't just sit on a little cheap little stool with no padding or anything like that. My back just won't take it, right? I use chainsaws and whippersnippers and push lawnmowers all summer. Like, I don't sit on riding mowers. I'm the guy that does the real grunt work. I use picks and axes and shovels, and it kills my back, right? So for me to be able to sit at a drum kit, say for 3 hours in a gig, uh, I need something really comfortable, right? So I spent the money there. Rather than having 3 cheap thrones sitting there, I'll have one good one, and then maybe later I'll have a spare, if for live playing or something like that. Because you do wreck stuff over time, um, whatever. Now, my techniques for playing, I'll make that in the next video, but when I do the demo of this thing, might not be for a couple of days. I haven't even played this thing yet, but I've heard lots of demos of it. I know what to expect. It's a drum kit, right? So it's going to be nice and loud, be really thundery. I did buy this magnificent little tool here, which I can't wait to use. And before I even put the drum together, I'm going to go and see what tension all my lugs are at, because this is a new kit, so I'm sure they probably tuned it up to a degree, but sitting on a shelf for a couple of months, it probably, the stretching of stuff, whatever. And there's some fantastic videos on how to use that drum dial. Even if you have a cheap kit, I would recommend this. It's $100 for that thing, $95. But Yeah, no problem. Now, can I keep time on, yes, I can keep time. Can I do like extravagant fills? No. The biggest thing is going to be the footwork. That's going to be probably the area where I'm going to have the biggest hold up in the beginning, just like everybody does. But I got a kit that has an okay pedal, like a middle of the road pedal, but it's a single pedal. So now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to necessarily get rid of that pedal, because a single pedal can be a really nice thing to have. Like if I say do a gig with a country band, I'm bringing this, and the throne, of course, and whatever hardware I need. That's it. I'll leave the other tom at home and a single pedal. I'm not going to bring a double pedal to that, but I will be getting a double pedal for it because I want to hear the do, 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 do. But I really want to hone my skill on that single pedal first, because that's what I have right now. So buying the kit, I spent all in, interest, because I'm doing payments on it. All in, I think, was when I get it together, but it was we'll say between 34 and 36, something like that, 100. So that's a lot. But it's a professional kit. You know what I mean? If I let the Dream Theater drummer play this, he's going to make it sound like a million. I know his kit is ginormous, but he's going to make it sound amazing. Joe Satriani's old drummer, I don't know if he still plays for him, Jonathan Mover, he'll make that sound like a million bucks. Tommy Lee would have a blast on it. Alex Van Halen would have a blast on it. Some fantastic drummers on there. Drummer I really like is the Nightwish drummer, not the newer guy, but the guy, the original guy. He's a fantastic drummer. Tons of metal drummers out there that are just absolutely phenomenal. I don't know much about the jazz drummers. I don't follow jazz. I know you're a metal guy. You're supposed to sound sophisticated, say, oh yes, I like jazz. Well, it's just like, yes, I know my metal songs on my 8-string, I'm doing, jazz chord, metal chords are jazz chords, sure. But I don't play jazz, not that I have anything against it. Although the first kits I was playing were jazz kits, and I did do some jazz techniques and stuff like that. So I have an idea of what grip I like the best. So I guess the next thing I'll get into is, when you buy a drum kit, what you should do first, right? Well, learn to play. So anyway, yeah, I'll make that my next video.